Okay, guys, so this is my shoe house. It's not really a shoe house, it's a shoe rocket. I've added a couple things and a couple shadows. I wanted to show you how to add something, and just a simple way to add a shadow. You need 10 objects added, so right now I really only have 2. I've got the window and I've got the astronaut, so I'm going to need to come up with some more stuff. They don't all have to be big things. Like, for instance, you could add an American flag to this if you wanted to make it look more like a space shuttle. Every little detail you add counts as one of your 10 things. Okay, so I have found a Martian rover, and it just happens to be a transparent PNG file because I searched for Martian rover transparent, and I'm going to copy that and go back to Photopea and paste it. And it pastes in as transparent, which surprised me because usually it doesn't. So on Photopea, it's a really good idea to start naming your layers. It really helps. You just click on the layer name, turns blue like that, and then you type in the name you want it to be, and it's going to really help. You can also put folders here. There's a new folder command right there. You can create folders, and you can put stuff in folders and organize, so it's not a bad idea. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. It's a little big. Don't forget, when you're resizing things, hold down that shift key. You don't want stuff to look all stretched out and weird. So maybe that's about the right size for that. And we'll put it just a little further in the background. So whenever you add something, take a look at it and see if the light matches. Like if it's really warm lighting, or if it's really cool lighting, you can adjust that. If it's too bright, too dark. Right now that looks pretty good. I don't really think it needs to be changed. All it really needs is a shadow. So this is a pretty complex object, and creating a shadow for it is going to, a really detailed shadow is going to be kind of hard. So one thing I could do is kind of set it somewhere where maybe it doesn't have a lot of its shadow showing. So if I put it down here, maybe in a corner somewhere, like what if I put it like right here? Just have to kind of look around your image and see if you can find a good place where it doesn't get out of balance. And okay, now I want to create a shadow for it, and what I'm going to do that is I'm going to create a new layer. That's a new layer right there, and it's going to be, I want it to be underneath the rover, so I'm going to move it underneath the rover, and I'm going to call this rover shadow. And I'm just going to take a brush with black paint, so set the paint to black, and I'm going to set the opacity to about 25% because I really don't want to make it too dark. And I want the brush to be kind of big and kind of soft because I don't want a super hard shadow. And I'm just going to start kind of clicking in and drawing a shadow. And since light's going kind of this way, there we go. And this big thing here would probably cast a nice big round shadow on the ground underneath it. You wouldn't really see all the detail of the wheels, I don't think. So we'll just kind of say that's good enough for a shadow. And we'll zoom out. And it looks like it probably might be just a little too dark. So if you ever make, you're making a shadow, it just doesn't look quite dark enough, I don't have to like erase that shadow. Instead, I can just take this opacity of this layer, which is right here, and I can just lower that layer opacity down to the shadow. And now I feel like that matches the other shadows pretty good. Okay, so one last thing I want to do, I want my shadow and my rover to be connected together, because like if I move the rover, I want to move the shadow with it. So I'm going to highlight these two layers, right click, and I'm going to merge layers, merge them together. Now they're one layer. Now they'll move around. Oops. Now they're one layer, and now they'll move around together. If I decide I want it in a different place, I could put it over here. I could put it right here. So you can decide the best way to put it. So 10 objects, get them added. Try to make sure that they match the lighting, the contrast, the brightness, and add shadows if you feel like they need shadows. If you don't have shadows, most of your objects look more like clipped and pasted on. And get that finished. Thanks.